I just want to welcome everybody to sales.com, and we are so excited to interview Cat Stancik. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing your last name correctly.
Yep.
I mean, okay, good. And she is the accountability expert. She is the kind of guru to the gurus to how to get more productivity out of your day. How do you get more in less time, more money, more meaning, more significance, more balance, right? How do you get more done in fewer hours so that you can spend more time doing the things that you love? So she sent over a little overview, and she said, Cat lives in a world filled with abundance. She wants simple ideals that are founded in realistic outcomes. We also have lots of chocolate and massages, which I am a big fan of personally. But she has over 15 years of professional experience in a variety of industries, a software startup where they brought her in to kind of be the hatchet man and clean out some of the dead wood that was in there. She's worked with nonprofits, a large consulting firm in DC metro area. She has her MBA from the University of Maryland, as well as 8 business certifications, including her 8th accredited coaching certification. I think that's what ACC stands for, from the International Coaching Federation. Bit of a knowledge junkie. I totally resonate with that. I get that. She's written a best-selling book, 7 Principles for a More Productive and Fulfilling Life. I have a copy on my own nightstand. I love it. And she's a contributor to the Huffington Post. She also, we were just talking about being mom. So she has 2 young daughters. She also travels around the world doing speaking engagements, and is continuously learning her new skills and pushing herself to the next level. And she's also just a personal good friend of mine and has been my accountability buddy for a couple months now, and just I treasure her. She is exactly what she says she is. She will get amazing results. So Kat, we're so grateful to have you on today's call. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. And again, I'm grateful for you and to have you in my life as well.
Well, I want to just kind of jump in. So accountability is kind of this broad term. Let's be honest. Like, you can have, I've had accountability buddies in the past, and we chat once a week, and it turns into a gab fest. And at the end of the call, we both feel better about ourselves. But whether or not we actually got more done as a result is entirely a different story. So in your opinion, what really makes accountability such a crucial piece for people when they're actually getting results? Like, is accountability all that it kind of cracked up to be? Or how would you define it? Maybe even the first step. But give us a little bit of context.
Sure. So accountability, without someone accountability needs to be given power. So like you said, when you have a gab fest with your girlfriends, there's not really a power that's been granted to the other person, right? It's okay, let me be safe here. Let's talk about this. When you empower someone to really hold you accountable, that means that you are willing to be beat up in a loving way.
Yes.
So what it is,
I can speak to that. There's a good kick in the pants in there with a good accountability partner. Yeah.
So I always say, so for me, tough love gets results, right? So it's not about being mean or yelling in your face all the time. But what it is really saying, okay, this is your dream. Let's get there. And what does that take? That takes focus, that takes clarity, that takes commitment, that takes you willing to do things that you haven't done before, and to really kind of get out of your own way, because a lot of times the thing that is on entrepreneurs' way or business owners' way is themselves. So they're resisting doing something, and they're not willing to look at what the reason is that they're resisting doing that. Because I have really found that the money is where the resistance is. So if you're resisting doing something, a lot of times it's because you're trying to keep yourself safe unintentionally. And what that does is it makes you keep doing the same thing over and over again, but the same thing over and over again isn't getting you results in the first place. So accountability is really that tough look at yourself in the mirror and saying, okay, is this really what I want? If it is, let's get there. And let's get out of our own way. What's blocking you? Is it mindset? Is it money? Is it, personal things? Whatever it is, that's okay. but there's a way over it so long as you're willing to do the work. And it's a lot of times, it's really simple, but we as women especially like to overcomplicate things. You know, like how many hours did we overanalyze? That crush that we had in high school was like, well, he said I looked good, but did he really mean I looked good, or he looked okay, or did I not look good? Like, what was going on there? We're socialized to overanalyze, and so it really isn't that complicated. It's just, this is what we need to do, so let's reverse engineer it. And then I hold you accountable to each of those steps. If you say, I'm going to do so many phone calls, right, this week to try to get new clients, and you come to the end of the week and you say you committed to 10 and you've done 5, all right, what happened? Where's the learning? And how do we apply that to next week so that we're setting ourselves up for success and not continuing this repetitive cycle of setting ourselves up for failure?
Yeah. I love everything you said. That the thing that really stood out for me was there's money in the resistance.
Oh yeah.
So I have learned that your resistance is usually outside of your comfort zone, which is where we all know that's where the magic happens. But there's a lot of resistance. Like if you had a sales conversation, you'll find that there's resistance to sending a proposal, right? There's usually money hiding behind that resistance. So I wrote that one down. I'm going to keep that one close to me. Now I want to go into how to conquer any goal and how you break down goals for your clients, that whole reverse engineering process that you just spoke about. I think you have your 3 S's. So I really want to dive into that. But real quick, tell me, how did you personally get into this? Why is this something that lights you up? What's your story? And help us understand kind of your background.
Yeah, so my story, really, I got into coaching because every job that I had was about getting to that next level, right? I started off as administrative assistant and then became executive assistant, became an office manager, business operations manager, and business manager. All that's the same thing, just with more responsibility. And it was just, that glass ceiling. I cannot be anything more than someone else's assistant. So I got my MBA because that was going to solve everything. And I got into consulting. And it didn't solve everything. I was still doing things for other people that weren't aligned to my values and how I wanted to grow. And what I consistently saw was that women were always doing more, getting higher up, and working more. So it was always giving, but never really getting. And yeah, you might get more money, but if you looked at and divided it simply, the more hours weren't really meaning that you were making more money. It just meant you were working more and not spending time with your family, and usually at the detriment of your own health. So I was done. That was just not acceptable for me. So I got my coaching certification. I had hired my own life coach and figured out that this was something that really aligned with my values and that I was really good at right off the bat. Like, it was easy for me to change people's lives. And so I just really leaned into it. And my entire life has been about achieving big goals while doing everything. So never pulled an all-nighter in my life, graduated with honors, cum laude, with 3 different honor societies, worked full-time, got my MBA, graduated at the top of my class, started my own business, tree fell on my house 12 days before I got married. Been there, done that. I do this all the time. This is easy for me to do big things. And I realized that what's really easy for me to do isn't for other people. Right? It's not. Like, getting that clarity, getting that commitment and that conviction, and to just do it. I mean, sorry, Nike, but just doing it and just getting it done isn't something that's really feasible for other people. So I started looking at what's my secret sauce and how is it that I do these things so easily and other people can't. And so I came up with basically 3 steps, which is you need to strategize. So really what it is understanding what you're good at, your unique brilliance. You need to clear the deck, right? Like, everyone has a mile-long list of to-dos, but you need to get that off of your plate, especially as a business owner and a mom. And it's delegating and outsourcing, but that comes a little bit later. So in your business, how are you going to do more of it and delegate all the other stuff that you're not good at, because you're not going to make money doing things that you're good at? As a matter of fact, you're costing your business money by doing the things you're not good at. It's like an average of something like $400. You cost yourself $400 an hour by filing. So not about just making more money. It's also about keeping the money that you make. So after we do those things, then we make sure we simplify. When we simplify, it's really about making things streamlined, understandable. It's about, the strategization is also about setting your goals. So you want to have that clarity and reverse engineer them, making sure, how is it that, you want to make $200,000 in your business more this year? Fine, not a problem. If you think it, you can do it. Not intimidated by that. $500,000, $1 million ain't no thing. What it is you have to make sure you believe it and you understand why it is you're trying to achieve that goal. Because if you earn $1 million more in your business, but then you have 3 ulcers and you get divorced and your kids stop talking to you, great, you're $1 million in a loan. So we need to understand what the exchange is, and is it really the money or is it the freedom of time? Do you want to work less in your business but still be earning the same amount or more? Again, anything you can dream of is possible. So then we go into simplifying. So when you simplify your whole process, you want to increase your productivity. And that includes, simple things like calendar blocking and decluttering, figuring out what your energy drains are, your rhythm. Everybody works at a different way. And once you understand kind of, and we have all felt that groove where you're just like, oh my God, I did like 1 million things today in an hour.
Yeah.
Then we also need to get over our mindset issues. And we all have them. There's no judgment. I have them too, and I've had to overcome them, and they sneak back up. They're sneaky little buggers. So, fear of success. We actually sabotage ourselves from actually achieving the things that we want to be achieving. Awesome. And a lot of us, especially as women, say yes too much. We give it away. We're caretakers, we're givers, we want to show our love and we want to say yes and accommodate people. But we have to own our yes and we have to own our no. And so you have to know what to say no to so you can say a bigger yes to the things that you really want in life. And then, of course, we simplify, but can't forget to take care of ourselves. And that is part of the simplification process because, the other day I actually posted on Facebook, I needed a massage. I got a massage. It's that simple. And someone responded and said, oh, you're the best self-care queen if it was only that simple. And I was like, it is that simple because I set myself up to make those decisions easily. Then I go into
But I think it's also a reflection. The simplification is also a reflection of your third point, which is systemization, right? Like it's hard if you don't have a system in place. Like I only work these hours, or I have a nanny who works these hours, etc. If you don't have those systems, that's what the simplification does. Is it's delegating in such a way that you don't have to worry about it, not delegating and then micromanaging. So the third step I think is what allows for that to happen.
Absolutely. And in the systematizing phase, we look at people management, how to have the right seats and the right people, because a lot of us suffer with, we know what we need and we hired someone and they're not doing their job. And then you don't have the right person. And it's looking at how you're hiring that person, how you're using them, and how you're using them for their unique brilliance and what they're good at. If you hire an accountant who's not detail-oriented, that's a problem.
Right.
Don't make it work. Figure out what the right seat is and the right person and hire the right person, put the effort into that. And then you want to be able to know what are your top money generating activities. A lot of people just go out and they have, shiny ball syndrome. Okay, I'm going to go do this social media thing. Oh, wait, hold on. Now there's this thing. And then stop. You're turning around and you're spending all this time spinning your wheels, trying little things instead of mastering the things that you already know makes you money. Matter of fact, yesterday, I had a client who was like, oh my God, I need money. Great. Okay. Well, what makes you money? And in 10 minutes, we figured out a way to make her $14,000 in 48 hours. Like almost basically she knew she could make that money. And it was just like, it's right there. And that goes into, internal business operations, what processes do you have? What documentation is there? What have you been doing right? What could you be doing better? Like a lot of people, they slap together a process document and then that's it, check the box, done, one and done. But, things improve over time. You've got to go back, you got to look at it, you got to capture it, and you got to make sure that someone who's never read it before can actually do it. And that also is really supported by, what I call my Humpty Dumpty exercise, which is what's broken. Let's fix it. and figure that out. Now, I don't do all the fixing and I don't capture the process documentation, but I can find you people who can. I know people who can, and I can see, because you're so close to it, where it is broken.
Yeah, and that goes back, my mentor blew my mind a while back. She said, either if there's a gap anywhere in your life, personal, professional, monetary, health, weight, if there's any gap between where you want to be and where you are, it's either there's no system, or the system needs to be improved, updated, or somebody's not following the system, right? So we have dieting plans and weight loss plans. There's systems, which if we follow them, we'd be happy, but we're not following the system. So I love that piece, that everything can be broken down to a system. The entire universe is made up of a bunch of teeny tiny systems, and each system is doing its job, and that's what your job is to do, is create systems for every piece of your life.
Absolutely. I mean, and when you boil it down, it's not sexy. Like, it's not gonna be this, woo, it's a standard operating procedure and it's gonna wreck your world. Like, it is a binder full of words, and it's how to do a job. The person makes it, but business is numbers, and it's a matter of being in front of those numbers and knowing how to translate them into results.
Yeah, so a couple of things as you were speaking, I was taking notes furiously, but the one thing that came up was, if willpower were enough, you'd be there already. So all of us have a lot of willpower, right? But we don't have it consistently, right? Like, there are peaks where we're really, really committed. January 1st is a perfect example. Everybody has willpower on January 1st.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's for the rest of the month, as my gym will attest. But I think every gym will attest to that. And then the other thing was just, so what I heard, so we strategize, we set those goals, we understand our strengths, we really get clear on where we're going. And I think what you said is that I really got, is that you need a deeper motivation, right? It's the kind of nature of a budget, which nobody likes to pinch pennies, but you have a longer term goal of going on a Hawaiian vacation, maybe, since I'm going there next week. So you have to take small things. Like, maybe we're not going to go out to dinner now because we're going to save towards that vacation. So it's about setting those big goals that light that fire under your butt and really inspire you, that gives you that willpower to say no to little things between now and then. So I love that. Start with the strategy and then simplify, just clearing the deck. Saying no to what you need to say no to in order to remain in alignment with your goals, clear the energy and the mindset pieces. I do not underestimate the power of your mindset. I was just listening to Peter Diamandis talk, and he said, he's like one of the leading futurists in the world. He's like, if I could forget everything I know about technology or forget everything I've developed on my mindset, and I had to start all over from scratch, I would forget everything I know about technology, because I can rebuild it if I keep my mindset. And I think that's absolutely true. The mindset work is so undervalued, but it is the driving force behind everything that you do. Now, real quick, I don't want people to underestimate what this means. I mean, if you've simplified it to the point where we're like, oh, okay, so we strategize, we simplify, and then we systematize. We put systems into place. And so it sounds so simple, but I want you to explain to us the power that this three-part strategy will allow. And I know that you've created some incredible returns for your clients, but give us just a couple of stories of people, like what they've been able to accomplish by using your methodology and working with you as an accountability coach. Kind of help us see the vision of what's possible.
Yeah, so one of the biggest benefits that I see my clients actually be able to do is leverage the techniques that I use with them with their own clients. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1 special. You get great results, and then all of a sudden you use the same process with your own clients, and they get great results, and so you get more clients, and everyone's happy. And that's what I mean by abundance, is there's plenty for everyone. There's more than plenty for everyone. And that's one of the biggest mindset issues, is the scarcity component, right? Thinking, oh my God, I'm being attacked. If she does the same thing I do, I can't talk to her, or, you know, I'm not going to get that client or something like that. And that is right there is the first like self-sabotaging behavior you can do. Because when you act in a place of scarcity, you act out of a place of fear, which means you're making decisions from a place of the ego, so in the head, and not at all attached to your heart. And people want to work with you as an individual and as part of your company and your business culture. And that's all driven from being connected with your heart and your mind. When there's those blockages, so mindset issues out of fear, out of scarcity, out of, you know, having perfection paralysis, analysis paralysis, all of those things prevent you from making the progress that you could very easily. And what I mean by that is a lot of times entrepreneurs feel like they're pushing, right? You got to hustle, you got to push, you got to get going. You get out of bed and just do it, right? And just do it in a negative way. That's not going to get you the results in your business. Because when you're pushing, it's like you're pushing against a closed door. It doesn't matter how hard you push, you're not going to get through it. What I like to do with people is go from chaos and overwhelmed to ease and flow, because you are not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing that needs to be fixed. You just need to be able to hear yourself think and get out of this chaotic vibration of everybody telling you all these things and all these voices in your head and not really understanding what it is that you want to do. When you're acting from that place of honoring your values, and you have to know what your values are, then you can take strides that are easy. And I make it sound easy because it is, if you're not pushing against all these blocks that are in everyone's way, which is a lot of mindset. I mean, it's really all mindset for the most part. Everything else you could learn online. You can learn how to write a document. You can learn how to set a goal. But if you're in your own way, you're never going to be able to accomplish it, which brings us back to that accountability side, which is that's the person that helps you really take a look at the mirror and say, is this really what you want? Or is this what your kind of ego wants? Like, you want to make more money, but if you do it this way, you know, it's going to cause, you know, certain consequences that aren't going to be in alignment with what you really want out of life.
Right, right. So give me an example. I know you mentioned like 500% ROI, 700% ROI with working with you. Share one of those stories because they got me really excited.
Yeah. So I have lots of examples of different clients. And the one that I love, there's two of them. Well, one that I already shared, but two more that I really enjoyed, which is I was speaking with a client, and both of these things, they happen right away, like within the first month or two of, you know, working with my clients. And so these are just snapshots. It's not even the full spectrum of us working for the entire contract time. But one of my clients, she was really struggling with what it is that she wanted to accomplish. And so we worked on her vision and worked on reverse engineering that. And this was an instance of her actually leveraging the same language with her client and saying, well, what is it that you want? You know, let's reverse engineer that and get some, you know, some results so that we're clear. And her client, just that one question was like, that's it. I'm not talking to anybody else. I'm signing the doc. That one contract increased her revenues by 25%, which ended up being a 733% ROI within, I think it was 2 months of us working together. So she's since done way more business, but I just wanted to take that one snapshot because it was like, yeah, that's how simple it can be. And then my other client, he was pushing a lot. He was trying to hire a salesperson, local. And he was pushing, just trying to do it. And he was following the book and he was doing everything by the letter. And this is how you put an ad up and all that. And I said, well, what are you looking for? And he described it to me and we wrote it out. And I said, well, you're asking for these things, but you're putting something else out. Put what you want out there. And he found this amazing salesperson who responded to that ad, who ended up increasing his revenues. And he got a 902% ROI. So made 9 times his money back. The other person made 7 times their money back. It's just
and I think that's the examples that you gave, right? The thing that I just so appreciate you is that you get us back to the bottom line, right? Like, what is really going on? What do you really need to make this happen? And you just simplify it down. And that's, I think, definitely your gift. I was thinking, for those of you guys who are on the call or listening to the replay, I would encourage you to think of a goal that you've set for yourself. So me personally, for the Q1, my goal was to double my revenue and halve the number of hours that I'm working, which took some mindset work, right? How can I make twice as much money working half as much time? And my assistant will be the first one to admit that I don't like letting go of the time piece. But we're working towards that. I do love what I do. Let's just be honest. But so if you have a goal in your head, maybe it is to double your income, maybe it's to have your hours, maybe it's to just, I don't know, you fill in the blank for you. But what I talked to Kat and said, well, can people try you out, right? So what I would say is get that goal, write it down, and then go chat with Kat. I'm putting her link in the chat. For those of you who are listening to the replay, if you can't see the chat, it's calendly.com, CALENDLY.com/catalytic change. That's her company. So CATALYTIC, and another CHANG with a / 30 minutes, 30MINS. We'll try and include that when we send out the replay as well. But it's just, I think that's going to be an incredible resource for you to try and hear how Cat's brain operates, which is just very different from the way a lot of our entrepreneurial minds operate, with the shiny object syndrome and the visionary, like getting distracted. So definitely take advantage of that gift, those 30 minutes of her time, and really see what it's like to reverse engineer, to strategize your goal, to simplify the results, and then to systematize the process so that you get what it is that you want and don't feel like you're sacrificing one to get the other. So that, I think, is my parting admonition to you, that definitely take advantage of Cat's offers. Very generous. And Cat, is there any parting words that you'd like to share?
You know, one of my favorite quotes, there's two of them actually, is the first one's by Henry Ford, which is, if you think you can or think you can't, either way you're right. And the other one is Nelson Mandela, who, I'm paraphrasing here, but I never lose. I either win or I learn. And that's what it is. It's if you fail, that's great. You fail forward. And there's always learning in it, and there's always an ability. It actually reminds me of, it's not how you fall, it's how you get up. And, you know, I was dancing one night and I fell on the floor. I went down too low and I could not get back up. And I fell on the floor, and then I kind of turned around and did a pretend like breakdance move. And then I got back up and I laughed it off. And it's just the epitome of that, which is, it's not how you fall, it's how you get back up.
I love that. That's so perfect. Whether Nelson Mandela said it or you just said it now, but the I never lose, I win or I learn, that's going on my wall, baby. I love that one. So thank you so much, Kat, and I look forward to hearing more amazing stories of how you can transfer people's lives and their businesses. So thank you guys so much. Have a really blessed week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.